grim darkness of the far future, where humanity's light flickers amidst a sea of endless war, there stands an order of warriors unmatched in their devotion and skill. The Adeptus Custodes, golden sentinels of the Emperor of mankind, represent the pinnacle of human genetic engineering and martial prowess. These superhuman guardians, clad in auramite armor that gleams with an otherworldly radiance, are more than mere soldiers. They are living weapons, forged in the crucible of ancient technologies long lost to the Imperium of man. Imagine beings of such might that a handful could lay waste to entire armies, yet whose true battle lies in the labyrinthine corridors of power and intrigue within the Imperial Palace on Holy Terra. The Custodes are philosophers and warriors, bodyguards and confidants, the Emperor's own companions since the dawn of the Imperium. Their existence is shrouded in mystery, their numbers unknown even to the highest echelons of Imperial command. This video delves into the enigmatic world of the Adeptus Custodes, exploring their origins in the mists of prehistory, their role as the Emperor's Praetorians, and their evolution throughout the tumultuous millennia of the Imperium's existence. We'll uncover the secrets of their creation, the unique abilities that set them apart from even the mighty Space Marines, and the sacred duty that drives their every action. From the blood-soaked days of the Horus Heresy to the contemporary threats facing the Imperium, the Custodes have stood as an immovable bulwark against the forces that would see humanity extinguished. Their golden spears have tasted the blood of traitors, Xenos, and demons alike, yet their greatest battles are often fought with words and subtle manipulations, safeguarding the Emperor's grand design. As we embark on this journey through the annals of Imperial history, prepare to witness the unparalleled might of the 10,000, the unwavering loyalty that defies corruption, and the crushing weight of responsibility that comes with being the Emperor's chosen guardians. The story of the Adeptus Custodes is one of sacrifice, duty, and the relentless pursuit of humanity's survival in a universe bent on its destruction. Join us as we lift the veil on these legendary warriors, whose very existence embodies the Emperor's vision for mankind's future. The tale of the Adeptus Custodes is not merely one of superhuman feats and epic battles, but a window into the very soul of the Imperium itself. To truly grasp the significance of the Adeptus Custodes, one must first understand the precarious state of the Imperium of man. In a galaxy teeming with threats both alien and internal, where the corrupting influence of chaos seeps through reality's cracks, humanity clings to survival by the thinnest of margins. The Imperium, a vast million-world empire, is a beacon of order in a universe of madness, and at its heart lies Terra, the cradle of mankind and seat of the God Emperor. The Adeptus Custodes are the linchpin in this cosmic drama. Unlike the Space Marines who defend the Imperium's borders, or the Imperial Guard who fight its wars of attrition, the Custodes serve a singular, crucial purpose. They are the last line of defense for the Emperor himself. Their importance cannot be overstated, for in protecting the master of mankind, they safeguard the very future of the human race. Consider the implications of their role. The Emperor, interred upon the Golden Throne for 10,000 years, is more than a ruler. He is the psychic beacon that allows for interstellar travel and communication across the vast expanse of the Imperium. His mind wages an eternal war against the forces of chaos, holding back the tide of demons that would otherwise engulf reality. Should the Emperor fall, so too would humanity. Thus, the Adeptus Custodes stand as the guardians not just of a person, but of hope itself. Their vigilance ensures the continuation of the Imperium's guiding light, their martial skill a deterrent against those who would strike at the very heart of human civilization. In a universe where defeat means extinction, the Custodes are the embodiment of humanity's refusal to succumb to the darkness. This context elevates every action of the Adeptus Custodes to cosmic significance. Their battles are not merely for territory or resources, but for the very soul of mankind. Their political maneuverings within the Imperial Palace are not simple power plays, but calculated moves to ensure the Emperor's will is carried out across the stars. As we delve deeper into the lore of the Adeptus Custodes, keep in mind this overarching context. Every golden warrior, every heroic stand, every whispered counsel in the shadowed halls of the palace, all of it serves the grand purpose of preserving humanity's flame in a hostile universe. The story of the Custodes is, in many ways, the story of mankind's desperate struggle for survival, writ large in genetically enhanced flesh and auramite armor. The origins of the Adeptus Custodes trace back to the enigmatic days of Terra's unification, long before the Emperor's great crusade to reclaim the stars. In those tumultuous times when techno-barbarians warred over the remnants of old Earth, the Emperor worked in secret to create his ultimate guardians. Legends speak of the Emperor personally overseeing the creation of each custodian, pouring his divine insight and unparalleled genetic mastery into every warrior. Unlike the Space Marines, mass-produced to conquer the galaxy, Custodes were artisanal creations, each a unique masterpiece of transhuman engineering. Their genetic enhancement surpassed even the vaunted Primarchs, those demigod sons of the Emperor who would lead his armies across the stars. While a Space Marine might be likened to a bolter mass-produced, efficient, and deadly, a Custodian was a finely crafted power sword, a weapon of exquisite lethality and purpose. From the outset, these golden warriors served as more than mere bodyguards. They were confidants, advisors, and extensions of the Emperor's will. During the Unification Wars, Custodes stood at the forefront of battles that would determine the fate of Terra itself. Their auramite armor, a technological marvel beyond even the artifice of Mars, gleamed on battlefields where the future of humanity hung in the balance. As the Emperor's power grew and his vision of a united human empire took shape, the role of the Custodes evolved. They became the guardians of the Imperial Palace, that sprawling complex of fortresses, temples, and administratums that would serve as the nerve center of the nascent Imperium. Within its labyrinthine corridors, Custodes honed not only their martial skills, but their minds, becoming warrior philosophers steeped in the Emperor's teachings and the intricacies of statecraft. The Great Crusade, that monumental endeavor to reunite the scattered worlds of humanity, saw the Custodes take on yet another role. While the Space Marine legions and Imperial Army pushed the boundaries of the Imperium ever outward, the Custodes remained vigilant on Terra, safeguarding the heart of the Emperor's realm. Only on rare occasions did these supreme warriors venture forth among the stars, their presence a sign of the utmost importance of a mission or the direct intervention of the Emperor himself. Throughout this formative period of Imperial history, the Adeptus Custodes stood as a symbol of the Emperor's might and vision. Their golden armor and guardian spears became icons of Imperial authority, their very presence enough to quell rebellions and inspire awe in the citizens of the burgeoning Imperium. Yet, for all their power and prestige, the true test of the Custodes lay ahead. The cataclysmic events of the Horus Heresy would shake the foundations of the Imperium and forever alter the course of human history. In those dark days, the Custodes would face their greatest challenge and their most bitter failure, a crucible that would redefine their purpose for millennia to come. The annals of Imperial history are rife with moments that shaped the destiny of mankind, but few compare to the seismic impact of the Horus Heresy. This galactic civil war, instigated by the fallen Primarch Horus, would test the Adeptus Custodes as never before and leave an indelible mark on their psyche. When the heresy erupted, Terra became a fortress world, bracing for the inevitable assault. Custodes Captain General Constantin Valdor, a figure whose tactical acumen rivaled even the Primarchs, oversaw the defenses of the Imperial Palace. Under his guidance, the Custodes transformed the seat of Imperial power into a bastion that would withstand the fury of traitor legions. The Siege of Terra, that apocalyptic battle which would decide the fate of humanity, saw the Custodes perform feats of heroism that would echo through eternity. In the Webway War, a secret conflict fought in the labyrinthine depths beneath the palace, they held the line against an endless tide of demons, their golden spears reaping a terrible tally among the forces of chaos. Yet, for all their valor, the defining moment of the heresy for the Custodes was one of failure. When the Emperor teleported aboard Horus's battle barge for the final confrontation, only a handful of Custodes accompanied him. In the ensuing battle, they fell to the War Master's fury, unable to prevent the grievous wounding of their liege that would consign him to the Golden Throne. This perceived failure would haunt the Custodes for millennia, reshaping their doctrine and purpose. In the aftermath of the heresy, as the Imperium struggled to rebuild, the Custodes withdrew almost entirely from the wider galaxy. Their focus narrowed to Terra itself, particularly to the Imperial Palace and the Sanctum of the Golden Throne. The time of rebirth saw the Custodes take on a more secretive role. While Space Marines and the newly formed Imperial Guard waged war across the stars, the 10,000 delved deeper into the mysteries of the Imperial Palace. They became guardians not just of the Emperor's physical form, but of his legacy and secrets. Centuries passed, and the legend of the Custodes grew. Rare appearances beyond Terra's confines became the stuff of myth. The Custodian Guard suppressed various threats to the throne world, from cult uprisings to Xenos infiltrations, their actions often unseen but pivotal in maintaining the heart of the Imperium. A significant shift occurred in M32 with the War of the Beast. This Orc-Wah of unprecedented scale threatened Terra itself, forcing the Custodes to take a more active role in the Imperium's defense. Their intervention proved crucial in preventing the Greenskin menace from overrunning humanity's homeworld. As millennia wore on, the Custodes continued to evolve. The formation of the Ordo Custodes in M36 during the Reign of Blood marked a new chapter in their history. This organizational change allowed for greater autonomy and a broadened scope of operations, though always in service to their primary duty of protecting the Emperor. In recent times, the 13th Black Crusade and the fall of Cadia heralded a new era of openness for the Adeptus Custodes. With the galaxy split asunder by the Great Rift, these golden warriors have once again taken to the stars in force, their auramite armor a beacon of hope in the encroaching darkness. Each of these key events has shaped the Adeptus Custodes, forging them into the indomitable force they are in the current millennium. Their journey from the shadows of the palace to the forefront of the Imperium's defense is a testament to their enduring legacy and unwavering dedication to the Emperor's vision. Delving into the essence of the Adeptus Custodes reveals a complexity that sets them apart from other imperial institutions. At their core, these warriors embody the Emperor's original vision for humanity, perfection in both body and mind. Physically, Custodians tower over even the mighty Space Marines. Their enhanced physiology is a marvel of genetic engineering, granting them strength, speed, and endurance beyond mortal comprehension. Each warrior's creation is a unique process, resulting in individuals rather than mass-produced soldiers. Mentally, the Custodes are philosopher warriors of the highest caliber. Their training encompasses not just martial skills, but also history, strategy, and the arcane lore of the Imperium. This comprehensive education allows them to serve as advisors and decision-makers, not merely as combatants. The weaponry and war gear of the Custodes reflect their elite status. Guardian spears, their signature weapons, combine the deadliness of a power weapon with the ranged capability of a bolter. Auramite armor, golden and nigh impenetrable, stands as a testament to the pinnacle of Imperial technology. Organizationally, the Custodes operate differently from other Imperial forces. They eschew the rigid command structure seen in the Astartes, instead functioning as a collective of champions, each capable of independent action yet united in purpose. This flexibility allows them to adapt swiftly to any threat. Their combat doctrine emphasizes individual skill over mass tactics. In battle, Custodians fight as heroes of legend, each warrior capable of turning the tide single-handedly. This approach stems from their primary duty, protecting the Emperor, where every custodian must be prepared to face overwhelming odds alone. The psychological impact of the Custodes on both allies and enemies cannot be overstated. To Imperial forces, the sight of these golden warriors instills hope and awe. To the enemies of the Imperium, they inspire terror, their presence often enough to break morale before a single blow is struck. Perhaps most intriguing is the Custodes' relationship with the Emperor. Unlike the faith-based devotion of the ecclesiarchy, the Custodes' loyalty stems from a deep understanding of the Emperor's goals and methods. They revere him not as a god, but as the pinnacle of human potential. This perspective places the Custodes in a unique position within the Imperium's power structure. They stand apart from the political machinations of the High Lords of Terra, focused solely on interpreting and enacting the Emperor's will as they understand it. The recent emergence of Primaris Space Marines has raised questions about the Custodes' superiority. However, their continued technological advancement, exemplified by creations like the Telemann Dreadnought, ensures they remain at the forefront of Imperial military might. Analyzing the Custodes' role in recent galactic events reveals a shift in strategy. Their increased involvement in conflicts beyond Terra suggests a proactive approach to threats, possibly guided by foresight gleaned from proximity to the Emperor. The philosophical underpinnings of the Custodes' existence raise profound questions about the nature of humanity in the 41st millennium. As living embodiments of the Emperor's vision, they serve as a reminder of what humanity could achieve, standing in stark contrast to the grim reality of Imperial life. Within the complex tapestry of the Imperium, the Adeptus Custodes occupy a unique position, often finding themselves at the center of various conflicts, both overt and subtle. Foremost among these is the eternal struggle against chaos. The Custodes stand as the ultimate bulwark against the corrupting forces that seek to claim the Emperor's soul. This conflict extends beyond mere physical battles, encompassing a war of ideology and willpower. Tensions between the Custodes and other Imperial organizations frequently arise. The Inquisition, with its far-reaching authority, often finds itself at odds with the Golden Guardians. Custodes' immunity to inquisitorial scrutiny and their unparalleled access to the Emperor create friction that occasionally erupts into open hostility. Relations with the Adeptus Astartes are complex. While both serve the Emperor, their methods and perspectives differ greatly. Space Marines view the Custodes with a mixture of awe and resentment, respecting their abilities while chafing at their perceived aloofness. The ecclesiarchy presents another point of contention. The Custodes' view of the Emperor as a man, albeit the greatest of mankind, clashes with the religious fervor promoted by the imperial cult. This ideological divide has led to numerous conflicts over the millennia. Within the ranks of the Custodes themselves, philosophical differences emerge. Some advocate for a more active role in imperial affairs, while others insist on maintaining their traditional focus on Terra. This internal debate shapes their response to galactic threats. The Adeptus Mechanicus, keepers of technology, both revere and covet the advanced war gear of the Custodes. This dynamic leads to a cautious alliance, with both sides wary of the other's intentions. Xenos races, particularly those that have threatened Terra, hold a special place in Custodian strategy. The Custodes' xenophobia is tempered by a pragmatic understanding of the various alien threats, leading to targeted and ruthlessly efficient operations against species deemed a direct threat to the throne world. Perhaps most intriguing is the Custodes' relationship with the Sisters of Silence. These null maidens complement the Custodes in ways that hint at the Emperor's foresight, their alliance a potent weapon against psychic threats. The emergence of Guilliman as Imperial Regent has added another layer to these conflicts. The Custodes' reaction to his return and subsequent actions reveals the complexity of their loyalty, steadfast to the Emperor's vision, yet adaptable to the changing realities of the Imperium. In navigating these myriad conflicts, the Adeptus Custodes demonstrate a level of political acumen that belies their warrior nature. Their actions, both martial and diplomatic, are always in service to their ultimate duty, safeguarding the Emperor and, by extension, humanity itself. The zenith of the Adeptus Custodes narrative arc unfolds in the tumultuous events of the 41st millennium. As the galaxy trembles on the brink of chaos, these golden sentinels face their greatest trials since the Horus heresy. Cadia's fall marked a turning point. The shockwaves of this catastrophic event reverberated through the Imperium, forcing the Custodes to reassess their role. No longer could they remain confined to Terra. The threat had grown too great, too immediate. Robert Guilliman's resurrection and subsequent assumption of the role of Imperial Regent catalyzed a seismic shift in Custodes' doctrine. His Indomitus crusade saw these legendary warriors venture forth from the Imperial Palace in numbers not seen for millennia. On 1,000 battlefields across the fractured Imperium, Custodian Guard fought with unmatched skill and fury. Their auramite armor gleamed like newborn stars amidst the grime and blood of war, each warrior a beacon of the Emperor's might. Forging new alliances, the Custodes found themselves fighting alongside the reborn Primarch and his Primaris Space Marines. This collaboration, unthinkable in previous ages, spoke volumes about the dire straits in which the Imperium found itself. Yet, even as they battled external foes, the Custodes faced internal challenges. The creation of the Primaris Marines raised questions about their own supremacy, spurring technological advancements within their ranks. New patterns of dreadnoughts and more sophisticated war gear emerged from hidden forges beneath the Imperial Palace. In the wake of the Cicatrix Maledictum's birth, the Custodes' precognitive abilities, honed through millennia of proximity to the Emperor, came to the fore. They launched preemptive strikes against threats not yet fully materialized, their golden blades cutting short the schemes of chaos before they could bear fruit. The restoration of the Imperial Webway project, long a closely guarded secret, became a focal point of Custodes' efforts. This initiative, fraught with peril, offered the tantalizing promise of turning the tide against the forces of chaos. Amid this galactic upheaval, individual custodians rose to prominence. Shield Captain Valerian's exploits during the War of Beasts on Terra showcased the adaptability and tactical genius inherent in each of these warriors. His actions, immortalized in Imperial records, serve as a testament to the Custodes' evolving role. The Ephrael Stern incident further highlighted the Custodes' willingness to operate beyond traditional boundaries. Their involvement with this controversial figure demonstrated a pragmatism that surprised many observers, revealing depths to their strategic thinking previously unseen. As the Imperium reeled from crisis after crisis, the Custodes emerged as a linchpin in its defense. Their presence on battlefields across the galaxy served not only to defeat the Emperor's enemies, but also to inspire his followers. In an age of darkness, their golden light burned all the brighter. This period of intense activity and exposure brought the Custodes to the forefront of Imperial politics and warfare. No longer shrouded in mystery, they became a visible symbol of the Emperor's enduring power and humanity's resilience in the face of overwhelming odds. The climax of their journey from shadowy guardians to active defenders of the Imperium was not a single event, but a series of crucial interventions. Each battle, each campaign, each act of heroism built upon the last, culminating in a transformation of their very essence. In this new role, the Adeptus Custodes stand poised to shape the future of the Imperium. Their actions in these trying times will echo through history, influencing the course of human destiny for millennia to come. The ramifications of the Adeptus Custodes' increased involvement in galactic affairs reverberate throughout the Imperium and beyond. Their emergence from the shadows has reshaped the balance of power in ways both subtle and profound. Militarily, the impact is immediate and striking. Imperial forces, bolstered by the presence of these legendary warriors, have achieved victories in theaters long thought lost. The psychological effect on both allies and enemies cannot be overstated. The sight of a single custodian can rally a broken army or send a Xenos horde fleeing in terror. Politically, the Custodes' more active role has sent ripples through the highest echelons of imperial governance. Their council, once rarely given outside the walls of the imperial palace, now influences strategies and policies on a galactic scale. This shift has not been without controversy, as established power structures grapple with the implications of their increased influence. Technologically, the pressures of constant warfare have spurred innovation within the Custodes' ranks. New weapons and armor patterns have emerged, pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible. This technological renaissance has had a trickle-down effect, with advancements finding their way into other branches of the Imperium's war machine. The relationship between the Custodes and the newly returned Primarch Guilliman has evolved into a complex dance of mutual respect and cautious cooperation. This alliance, forged in the crucible of necessity, offers a glimpse of what the Imperium could become if unity of purpose can be maintained. Within the Adeptus Custodes themselves, this period of intense activity has led to soul-searching and re-evaluation. The notion of duty, always central to their ethos, has expanded beyond the physical protection of the Emperor to encompass the safeguarding of his vision for humanity. The increased visibility of the Custodes has had an unexpected effect on imperial faith. While the Custodes themselves reject notions of the Emperor's divinity, their presence has, paradoxically, strengthened the resolve of the faithful. They are seen as living saints, embodiments of the Emperor's will made manifest. Strategically, the Custodes' involvement has led to a more proactive approach to threats against the Imperium. Their ability to strike at the heart of enemy operations, coupled with their unparalleled combat prowess, has changed the nature of warfare in the 41st millennium. The restoration of Guilliman and the creation of the Primaris Space Marines might have overshadowed a lesser force, but the Custodes have risen to the challenge. Their continued relevance and effectiveness serve as a reminder of their unique place in the Emperor's grand design. Perhaps most significantly, the actions of the Adeptus Custodes in this turbulent era have rekindled hope in a galaxy drowning in despair. They stand as living proof that the Emperor's light, though dimmed, still burns bright, and that humanity, for all its flaws, is not yet ready to fade into the endless night. As the dust settles on this period of upheaval, one thing becomes clear. The Adeptus Custodes have transcended their role as mere guardians. They have become active shapers of imperial destiny, their golden blades carving a path towards a future that, while uncertain, holds the promise of renewal and redemption for all of mankind. The Adeptus Custodes' emergence from their long isolation has sent shockwaves through the Imperium and beyond, influencing events and characters in ways both dramatic and subtle. Within the ranks of the Adeptus Astartes, the Custodes' increased presence has sparked a complex mixture of emotions. Many Space Marines view these golden warriors with a combination of awe and trepidation. The Custodes' superhuman abilities and direct connection to the Emperor serve as both inspiration and reminder of the Astartes' own limitations. This dynamic has led to a re-evaluation of tactics and training methods among many chapters, as they strive to match the efficiency and skill demonstrated by the Custodes on the battlefield. The Primaris Space Marines, in particular, find themselves in a unique position. As the newest iteration of the Emperor's warriors, they share a kinship with the Custodes in terms of being at the forefront of transhuman evolution. Joint operations between Primaris and Custodian forces have become more frequent, leading to an exchange of ideas and combat doctrines that has elevated the capabilities of both groups. For the Imperial Guard, the impact of fighting alongside the Custodes has been nothing short of transformative. Regiments fortunate enough to witness these golden giants in action often undergo a spiritual awakening. Tales of Custodian heroics spread like wildfire through the ranks, bolstering morale and instilling a renewed sense of purpose in even the most battle-weary veterans. Some Guard officers have even begun incorporating Custodes-inspired tactics into their strategies, emphasizing the potential impact of small, elite units in key engagements. The Inquisition, ever watchful and paranoid, has found itself in a precarious position. The Custodes' immunity to inquisitorial authority and their unparalleled access to the Emperor's secrets have led to both collaboration and conflict. Some Inquisitors view the Custodes as potential allies in rooting out the most insidious threats to the Imperium, while others see them as a challenge to the Inquisition's power and autonomy. This tension has resulted in a delicate dance of cooperation and competition, with both organizations carefully maneuvering to maintain their spheres of influence. Among the tech priests of the Adeptus Mechanicus, the Custodes' wargear has become an object of intense fascination and covetousness. The Auramite armor and Guardian spears represent pinnacles of technology that even the most skilled magos can only dream of replicating. This has led to increased efforts to study and reverse engineer custodian equipment, sometimes through less than ethical means. The Custodes, for their part, maintain a careful balance between sharing select technological insights and safeguarding their most closely held secrets. The Sisters of Battle, the militant arm of the ecclesiarchy, find themselves in a theological quandary. The Custodes' well-known skepticism regarding the Emperor's divinity clashes with the sisters' fervent faith. Yet the undeniable power and purity of purpose demonstrated by the Custodes have led many sisters to reevaluate their understanding of faith and devotion. Some have even begun to incorporate aspects of custodian philosophy into their own spiritual practices, viewing the Golden Warriors as living saints rather than non-believers. In the realm of imperial politics, the Custodes' influence has grown exponentially. High Lords of Terra and planetary governors alike now must consider the possibility of custodian intervention in their affairs. This has led to a subtle shift in the balance of power, with many political actors aligning their agendas more closely with what they perceive to be the Emperor's will, lest they attract unwanted attention from his Praetorians. The resurrected Primarch Robut Guilliman finds in the Custodes both steadfast allies and potential challengers to his authority. Their unwavering loyalty to the Emperor's original vision serves as a constant reminder of the Imperium's founding principles, sometimes acting as a counterbalance to Guilliman's more pragmatic approach to governance. This dynamic has resulted in a productive tension, pushing both the Primarch and the Custodes to strive for ever greater heights in service to the Imperium. Beyond the borders of Imperial space, the increased activity of the Custodes has not gone unnoticed. Xenos races, particularly those with long memories like the Eldari, have been forced to reassess their strategies. The presence of custodian forces in key conflicts has tipped the scales in the Imperium's favor, leading to a realignment of alien policies and alliances. The forces of chaos, perhaps more than any other faction, have felt the impact of the Custodes' resurgence. Demon Primarchs and Chaos Lords alike speak the names of individual custodians with a mixture of hatred and respect. The Golden Warriors' resistance to corruption and their ability to inspire unwavering loyalty in their allies have made them priority targets in many Chaos campaigns. This, in turn, has led to an arms race of sorts, with the forces of the ruinous powers seeking new and terrible weapons to counter the Custodes' might. Even on distant frontier worlds, far from the golden spires of Terra, the influence of the Adeptus Custodes can be felt. Stories of their exploits have become part of local folklore, with parents telling tales of golden angels descending from the heavens to smite the Emperor's foes. These myths and legends serve to strengthen the bonds between far-flung planets and the heart of the Imperium, reminding all of humanity that they are part of something greater. The Officio Assassinorum, the Imperium's shadowy organization of elite killers, has found both opportunity and challenge in the Custodes' new prominence. The Golden Warriors' involvement in high-stakes operations has sometimes intersected with Assassinorum missions, leading to rare instances of cooperation between these two secretive organizations. At the same time, the Custodes' enhanced abilities and vigilance have made them formidable obstacles when assassins are tasked with eliminating targets under their protection. In the shipyards and forges of the Imperium, the Custodes' influence has sparked a renaissance of sorts. The demand for vessels capable of rapidly deploying custodian forces across vast distances has led to innovations in warp drive technology and ship design. New patterns of power armor and weapons have emerged, inspired by, though never quite matching, the arcane technologies wielded by the 10,000. Even the nature of warfare itself has evolved in response to the Custodes' more active role. Enemy commanders have been forced to adapt their strategies, knowing that a small force of custodians can turn the tide of even the most hopeless battle. This has led to more fluid, unpredictable conflicts, with both sides seeking to outmaneuver each other and strike at critical weak points. The Adeptus Custodes impact extends beyond the military and political spheres, touching on the very culture of the Imperium. Artists and artisans across countless worlds have found new inspiration in the imagery of these golden warriors. Statues, frescoes, and epic poems dedicated to custodian heroics have proliferated, adding to the rich tapestry of imperial iconography. In the halls of the Scholastica Psychana, where the Imperium's sanctioned psychers are trained, the Custodes example has led to a re-evaluation of psychic potential and its applications. The Custodes' resistance to warp corruption and their rumored ability to tap into the Emperor's own psychic might have become subjects of intense study and speculation. Even among the enigmatic Adeptus Astra Telepathica, the impact of the Custodes has been felt. The Golden Warrior's ability to coordinate seamlessly in battle, often attributed to some form of telepathic link, has become a subject of fascination for astropaths and other psychic operatives. Some have begun to incorporate Custodes-inspired meditation techniques into their training, seeking to enhance their own mental discipline and resilience. The rogue traders, those adventurous explorers operating on the fringes of Imperial space, have found both opportunity and peril in the wake of increased Custodes activity. Some have managed to secure lucrative contracts supplying rare materials for custodian war gear, while others have run afoul of Custodes kill teams hunting down Xenos artifacts and other forbidden technologies. In the underhives of hive worlds and the seedy spaceports of frontier planets, even the criminal underworld has been forced to adapt. The mere rumor of custodian presence is often enough to send crime lords into hiding and disrupt illegal operations. This has led to a cat-and-mouse game between criminal organizations and imperial authorities, with the Golden Warriors serving as the ultimate deterrent against those who would prey on imperial citizens. The impact of the Adeptus Custodes ripples outward, touching every aspect of life in the Imperium and beyond. Their resurgence has become a pivotal moment in galactic history, one whose full ramifications may not be understood for centuries to come. As the Golden Warriors continue to shape events on a grand scale, the very fate of humanity hangs in the balance, guided by the unyielding hands of the Emperor's own Praetorians. The Adeptus Custodes embody a multitude of complex themes and symbols within the rich tapestry of Warhammer 40,000 lore. Their very existence serves as a focal point for some of the most profound questions and conflicts that define the grim darkness of the far future. At the most fundamental level, the Custodes represent the pinnacle of human potential. In a universe where humanity is beset on all sides by threats both external and internal, these Golden Warriors stand as living proof of what mankind can achieve when pushed to its absolute limits. Their physical perfection, unmatched combat prowess, and razor-sharp intellects are not just tools for war, but symbols of hope in a galaxy where such a concept is in desperately short supply. This idea of human potential is intrinsically linked to the Emperor's grand vision for mankind. The Custodes, as the Emperor's own creations, are the physical manifestation of his dream, a humanity free from the shackles of ignorance, superstition, and weakness. In this sense, they serve as a constant reminder of the Imperium's original purpose, a purpose that has become distorted and nearly forgotten over the millennia of the Emperor's physical absence. The contrast between the Custodes and the broader Imperium is a theme rich with symbolism. While the Imperium at large has devolved into a bureaucratic, superstitious, and often brutally oppressive regime, the Custodes have maintained a direct connection to the Emperor's original ideals. This dichotomy raises questions about the nature of progress and regression in human society and the costs of survival in a hostile universe. The concept of duty is another central theme embodied by the Adeptus Custodes. Their unwavering dedication to their role as the Emperor's protectors goes beyond mere loyalty or obedience. It is an all-consuming purpose that defines every aspect of their existence. This absolute commitment serves as both an inspiration and a warning. It showcases the heights of human devotion while also hinting at the loss of individuality and personal agency that such devotion might entail. Linked closely to duty is the theme of sacrifice. The Custodes have sacrificed their humanity in a very literal sense, transformed by the Emperor's gene craft into something more than human. But beyond this physical transformation, they have also sacrificed any semblance of a normal life, any possibility of pursuing personal desires or forming connections outside their brotherhood. This willingness to give up everything in service to a greater cause is a recurring motif in the Warhammer 40,000 universe, and the Custodes represent its most extreme expression. The Custodes also embody the theme of knowledge as power. Unlike many Imperial organizations that view knowledge with suspicion or outright hostility, the Custodes actively pursue understanding. They are warrior scholars, combining martial skill with intellectual rigor. This approach stands in stark contrast to the Imperium's general trend towards ignorance and superstition, symbolizing the potential power of enlightenment in a dark age. Paradoxically, the Custodes also represent the danger of secrets and hidden knowledge. As the keepers of the Emperor's most closely guarded truths, they bear the weight of terrible secrets that could potentially shatter the Imperium if revealed. This positions them as symbols of the fine line between necessary secrecy and harmful suppression of truth. The aesthetic of the Custodes, their golden armor, their Greek and Roman-inspired names and imagery, evokes themes of ancient glory and lost golden ages. In the context of the Imperium's Gothic, often crude and brutal aesthetics, the Custodes stand out as remnants of a more civilized, more noble era. This visual and thematic contrast underscores the Imperium's fall from its original ideals and the constant struggle to reclaim past glories. The relationship between the Custodes and the Emperor touches on themes of faith, reason, and the nature of divinity. While much of the Imperium worships the Emperor as a god, the Custodes know him as a man, albeit the greatest man to have ever lived. This tension between faith and reason, between myth and reality, is a central conflict in the Warhammer 40,000 setting, and the Custodes stand at its heart. The Custodes' resistance to chaos corruption symbolizes humanity's potential to overcome its baser nature. In a universe where the temptations of chaos are ever-present and even superhuman space marines can fall to corruption, the Custodes stand resolute. They represent an ideal of human purity and strength of will that stands in defiance of the entropic forces that threaten to unravel reality itself. As guardians of Terra and the Imperial Palace, the Custodes also embody themes of home, hearth, and the defense of civilization against external threats. In the vast, uncaring universe of Warhammer 40,000, Terra represents more than just humanity's birthplace. It is the symbolic heart of human civilization. The Custodes' vigil over this heart cast them in the role of defenders not just of a place, but of the very idea of human culture and achievement. The concept of transhuman dread, the fear and awe inspired by beings that are at once human and more than human, finds its ultimate expression in the Custodes. Their presence evokes complex emotions in both allies and enemies: respect, fear, envy, and a deep-seated unease at confronting entities that represent both the peak of human achievement and a fundamental deviation from the human norm. The Custodes' longevity and their direct link to the Great Crusade era make them living embodiments of history and memory. In a galaxy where much of humanity's past has been lost to time and tragedy, the Custodes serve as a living connection to mankind's greatest triumphs and most terrible failures. They are, in essence, the memory of an Imperium that once strove for nobler goals than mere survival. The theme of evolution versus stagnation is powerfully represented by the Adeptus Custodes. While much of the Imperium is mired in technological and cultural stagnation, the Custodes continue to refine and improve themselves. This ongoing evolution sets them apart from the rest of Imperial society and raises questions about the potential costs and benefits of progress in a universe where change often equates to danger. The Custodes' role as guardians of the Golden Throne touches on themes of duty that transcend death. Their vigilance over the Emperor's decaying physical form is a powerful symbol of loyalty that persists beyond the conventional boundaries of life and death. This eternal watch reflects the Imperium's broader struggle against entropy and decay, fighting a battle that cannot be won but must never be abandoned. In their interactions with other Imperial factions, the Custodes embody themes of isolation versus cooperation. Their long seclusion within the Imperial Palace and their recent emergence onto the galactic stage raise questions about the balance between maintaining purity of purpose and engaging with the wider universe. This struggle mirrors the Imperium's own isolationist tendencies and the necessity of adaptation in the face of ever-evolving threats. The unique nature of each custodian's creation process, in contrast to the mass-produced Astartes, touches on themes of quality versus quantity and the value of the individual versus the collective. In a galaxy-spanning empire where individual human lives often hold little value, the Custodes represent an approach that values unique, irreplaceable individuals. This raises philosophical questions about the nature of warfare and governance in a universe of unimaginable scale. The Custodes' role as the Emperor's companions in life and guardians in death also evokes themes of friendship, loyalty, and the bonds that transcend ordinary human relationships. Their devotion to the Emperor goes beyond mere duty, hinting at a depth of connection that has endured through millennia of hardship and sacrifice. As symbols of the Emperor's will made manifest, the Custodes embody the theme of human potential for both great good and terrible power. They represent humanity at its peak, showcasing both the awe-inspiring heights that mankind can reach and the fearsome power that such advancement brings. This duality serves as a mirror for the Imperium as a whole, a realm of incredible achievements and horrific atrocities. The Custodes' expanded role in the wake of recent galactic upheavals touches on themes of adaptation and the cyclical nature of history. Their emergence from isolation echoes ancient myths of heroes returning in times of great need, while also highlighting the Imperium's capacity for change, however reluctant in the face of existential threats. In their role as warrior philosophers, the Custodes represent the ideal of the Guardian who is both thinker and fighter. This harkens back to ancient Terran concepts of the philosopher king or the warrior poet, ideals that seem almost mythical in the harsh reality of the 41st millennium. Their existence keeps alive the notion that wisdom and martial prowess need not be mutually exclusive. The secrecy surrounding much of the Custodes' activities and capabilities touches on themes of mystery and the unknown. In a setting where knowledge is power and secrets can topple empires, the Custodes stand as enigmatic figures, their true nature and abilities the subject of speculation and wonder, even within the Imperium they serve. Ultimately, the Adeptus Custodes serve as a complex symbol of humanity's highest aspirations and deepest contradictions. They are the embodiment of hope in a hopeless universe, of reason in an age of superstition, of purpose in a galaxy of chaos. Yet they also represent the extremes to which humanity must go to survive, the sacrifices demanded by an uncaring universe, and the fine line between transhuman glory and inhuman monstrosity. In the grim darkness of the far future, the Adeptus Custodes stand as golden beacons, their very existence a defiant statement against the encroaching night. They are living symbols of the Emperor's dream, of humanity's potential, and of the unbreakable will that drives mankind to rage against the dying of the light, no matter the cost. The Adeptus Custodes, in their resplendent golden armor and with their nigh mythical status, represent one of the most fascinating aspects of the Warhammer 40,000 universe. Their very existence raises profound questions about the nature of humanity, the price of power, and the burdens of knowledge in a galaxy teetering on the brink of annihilation. One cannot help but be struck by the duality inherent in the Custodes. On one hand, they embody the pinnacle of human achievement, physically perfect, intellectually superior, and martially unmatched. They are living testaments to what humanity can become when freed from its limitations. Yet, on the other hand, they are also reminders of what must be sacrificed in pursuit of such perfection. In becoming more than human, have the Custodes lost something essentially human in the process? This question of humanity versus transhuman potential is at the heart of what makes the Custodes so compelling. In a universe where the line between man and monster is often blurred, the Custodes walk a razor's edge. They are not quite human anymore, yet they fight tirelessly to protect humanity. This paradox is a microcosm of the Imperium itself, an empire that commits atrocities in the name of preserving human civilization. The relationship between the Custodes and the Emperor is another aspect worthy of deep consideration. Their unwavering loyalty to a being they know was once a man, not a god, sets them apart in a galaxy drowning in religious fervor. This rational devotion, based on knowledge rather than faith, is both admirable and somewhat troubling. It raises questions about the nature of loyalty and the potential dangers of unquestioning obedience, even when based on reason rather than blind faith. One cannot discuss the Custodes without addressing their recent emergence onto the galactic stage. This shift from isolationist guardians to active participants in the Imperium's wars is a narrative goldmine. It speaks to themes of adaptation and necessity, of ancient powers awakening to meet new threats. But it also begs the question, what does it mean for the Imperium when its last line of defense must leave the Emperor's side to fight on distant battlefields? The aesthetic of the Custodes is another point of fascination. In a setting dominated by Gothic architecture and grim, utilitarian design, the classical influences in Custodes imagery stand out starkly. This visual distinction serves to emphasize their connection to a bygone era, a time when the Imperium strove for enlightenment as well as dominance. It's a poignant reminder of how far the Imperium has fallen from its original ideals. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Custodes is their role as keepers of the Emperor's secrets. The weight of the knowledge they bear is almost as great as their martial prowess. This positions them as tragic figures in many ways, cursed with understanding in an Imperium that often equates ignorance with bliss. The tension between their duty to protect these secrets and the potential benefits of sharing them is a narrative thread ripe for exploration. The introduction of the Custodes as a playable faction in the tabletop game has also opened up new avenues for storytelling and player engagement. It allows fans to connect with these legendary warriors in a more direct way, to weave their own narratives around these golden giants. This integration of lore and gameplay enriches the overall Warhammer 40,000 experience, making the setting feel more alive and interconnected. From a narrative perspective, the Custodes serve as excellent foils for many other factions in the setting. Their interactions with the more zealous elements of the Imperium, their grudging cooperation with the pragmatic Guilliman, their implacable opposition to chaos, all of these relationships add depth and nuance to the ongoing story of the 41st millennium. Perhaps one of the most compelling aspects of the Custodes is the hope they represent. In a setting often characterized by its unrelenting grimness, the Custodes are a reminder that not all is lost. They embody the idea that humanity, for all its flaws and failings, is still capable of producing beings of incredible nobility and power. In the face of overwhelming odds, the Custodes stand unbowed, a defiant golden light against the encroaching darkness. However, this hope is not without its darker undertones. The transhuman nature of the Custodes raises uncomfortable questions about the future of humanity. If such extensive modification is necessary to create the perfect warriors, what does that say about baseline humanity's chances in this hostile universe? The Custodes might represent hope, but it's a hope that comes at a tremendous cost. The philosophical implications of the Custodes' existence are equally fascinating. As beings created for a singular purpose, they challenge our notions of free will and self-determination. Are the Custodes truly free, or are they simply executing their programming, no matter how complex? This question becomes even more pointed when considering their recent, more autonomous actions on the galactic stage. In conclusion, the Adeptus Custodes are far more than just another faction in the rich tapestry of Warhammer 40,000. They are a narrative linchpin, a philosophical conundrum, and a visual spectacle all rolled into one. They embody the highest aspirations and the deepest contradictions of the setting. Love them or fear them, the Golden Warriors of the Adeptus Custodes are an essential part of what makes the grim darkness of the far future such a compelling place to explore.